You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And you shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbors, neither rob him the wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear the Lord. I am the Lord. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
And some people be thinking like talebearer, like, oh, you just lying on folks. No, it ain't even just that. Like, it's going around telling people business. You know, keep your business to yourself. You ain't got to somebody tell you something. Keep it to yourself. You know, if it ain't profiting nobody and nothing, and it's causing harm, you doing wrong. But go ahead, keep reading.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
That's right.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
And that's an important one too. You see your brother doing wrong, you need to go holler at him. Tell him, like, man, you don't need to be out here messing with all these girls. We don't need to be going to the store stealing. We don't need to be lying. You understand? Because you ain't supposed to suffer sin upon your brother. This is showing love to your brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the details of it. It's just one thing to say, I love you. Then I'm going to tell you what show me. And these are the ways you should be showing me. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
I told you this was somewhere else. I told you that this wasn't just new to the New Testament. He said you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. Let's go over to 1 Corinthians chapter 6. And we're going to read one verse out of here, verse 18. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 18. 1 Corinthians 6 and 18. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
Now you see that one? Flee fornication, brothers and sisters. When you out here fornicate, you making yourself one with a harlot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to be a body in the temple of God. You know what I'm saying? He's saying that you sinning against yourself with this one. But we supposed to be loving our neighbors as we love ourselves. Understand? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 30. Proverbs chapter 30, and we're going to read verse 7, 8, and 9 here. Proverbs chapter 30, verses 7, 8, and 9. And this is simple. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like we said at the beginning of the class, we're going to let the scriptures tell this story. I'm just guiding you through them, the tour guide. Proverbs chapter 30, start at verse 7.
2 things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanities and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain.
Okay, so hopefully we saw something right there. Hopefully we saw that one of the ways you taking God's name in vain is by going out here stealing, but stealing is taking God's name in vain. If you supposed to be godly and you stealing, so the Lord, so this man said, oh, please don't deny me this. Don't make me too rich. You know what I'm saying? Where I'll deny you, and don't make me too poor, lest I get out here and act a fool. Okay, let's go over to Romans chapter 13. Romans chapter 13. And see, when Jesus said that everything hang on these two, he knew what he was talking about. He knew exactly what he was talking about. That's why when we go back into the law, we can find where it's either going to be one or two things. It's going to be dealing with how you show love toward God, or it's going to be showing how you love your neighbor. Go ahead. Pick it up in verse Romans chapter 13 and verse 8.
Owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
That's right.
For this thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill.
See, people want to just say, oh, love your neighbor, but they don't want to get detailed with it. He said you don't owe nobody nothing but love to them. He said, but then he going to break it down to you. He going to say, thou shalt not commit adultery. He's starting to read the 10 Commandments now. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, and if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
See, when you love, then you doing what the law says. You fulfilling the law. But how are we loving? See, you don't just lip service love me. The way you loving me is you not coveting. You're not lying on me. You're not stealing from me. And you're not trying to kill me. It's so simple, brothers and sisters. So simple. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Get some more on how you love your neighbor. We'll have many more scriptures after this. And this, this class we just put together to show you what love is, or better yet, to show you what the commandments are. It's 2 commandments. You absolutely right. It's 2 of them. It's love the Lord and love your neighbor. But how do you do these things? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and start picking it up in verse 4.
Charity suffers long.
It's love. So love gonna suffer long. Go ahead.
And it's kind.
Mm-hmm.
Charity envieth not.
Mm-hmm.
Charity vaunteth not itself, and is not puffed up.
Mm-hmm.
Does not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh not her own. It is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things. Believeth all things. Hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
Okay, so right here we just seeing like love is gonna outlast all of it. You know, all of it. You know, knowledge is gonna fade. It's gonna fade away, and you know, soon the prophecies will be over. But love is gonna last the test of time. Let's go to First Timothy. 1 Timothy, and we're gonna pick this up in chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1, and pick it up in verse 5.
Now the end of the commandment is charity.
Okay, so this ain't saying the commandments is over. It's just telling you that what the commandments is taking you to is love. The end, like when you finish a race, what do you got? You got the prize. So the end of the commandments is love. Go ahead.
Out of a pure heart.
But he say with a pure mind, you ain't just doing it for show. Go ahead.
And of a good conscience, and of faith unfeigned, from which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm.
That's right.
But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous.
See, the law not made for a righteous man. Meaning, look, if I'm keeping the commandments, I don't got to worry about being, punished by the law. That law ain't made for a righteous man. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
But for the lawless and disobedient.
That's right.
For the ungodly and for sinners. For unholy and profane. For murderers of fathers and murders of mothers. For manslaughter.
Right, because the law telling them don't do this stuff. That's what the law telling them. Go ahead.
For whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine.
Right, if there's anything contrary to the word of God. You know what I'm saying? This is what the law is made for, to show you the right way. To show you not to be no whoremonger, no manslayer, for you not to be no men stealer, defiling yourself with mankind, homosexuality. That's what the law for.